The true man is not the one who believes himself strongest, but the one who knows both his strength and his weakness. He tests himself not to prove dominance, but to control the limits of his own nature. In doing so, he accepts his morality, flawed, human, imperfect, and strives to correct what he can. To integrate one's shadow is not an attempt to become whole. It is the quiet recognition that one's weakness is often the very soil from which his strength has grown. Such a man does not pretend to overcome fate. Instead, he walks beside it, willing to let destiny shape what lies ahead. And that is what makes him dangerous. For the man who understands his weakness and who is willing to wager it against the world while accepting whatever fate returns, is the man who has already made peace with defeat.
And Fundora proved too much for his opponent. The fight ended when Tim's
two-time super welterweight champion and current WBC super welterweight world champion Sebastian Fundora stands at the forefront of the 154-pound division with a record of 23-1. Aside from a single stoppage loss during a fight in which he had been dominating until the left hook found his mark, Fundora has shown that the setback only aligned the stage for a stronger comeback. What makes Fundora such a spectacle is that he defies first impressions. When we first look at a boxer, we tend to form preconceived notions. A stocky fighter is expected to be explosive with power, a lean boxer to rely on speed, but a pugilist with freakish length willingly giving up his reach to mix it up on the inside. That's the anomaly that defines Fundora's style as much as his towering frame. Most boxers enter the rankings focus on the raw strengths. Standing in at 6 foot 5.5 inches with an 80-inch reach, Fundora gave up his advantages as he catered to his desires. A volume puncher who is willing to mix it up, wear you down, allow you to test his chin while he tests yours. Fundora represents one of the most unusual archetypes in modern boxing, a tall pressure fighter. His physical build suggests the style of a traditional long-range boxer. Fighters with that kind of height and reach usually command from a distance with a steady jab, maintain space, picking opponents apart from the outside. Fundora, however, flips the expectation onto his head. Instead of using his reach to stay on the perimeter, Fundora consistently presses forward and fights on the mid to inside range. He prefers close range exchanges, where he can bombard opponents with volume. From the outside, he punches his way in, but once in range, he unloads staggering combinations. His punches come from unusual angles due to his long limbs, which can make his offense difficult to anticipate and disrupt an opponent's rhythm. His height also aids in his leverage and punching up, adding more power to his treacherous uppercuts.
A left hook landed for Lubin. Huge left hand, and Fundora with the jab, followed up.
Fundora's approach is built on pace and attrition rather than single-shot power. He applies steady pressure, aiming to batter and break, throwing in bunches and forcing opponents to fight at a tempo that gradually wears them down. His height also allows him to punch downward, creating awkward defensive problems for shorter opponents who are not accustomed to seeing these shots raining down from above.
That department.
If Booker is unable to hurt Fundora, he's going to have to...
Landed 17 compared to 12 of 47 for Booker.
Defensively, Fundora relies more on durability and a high guard than on slick defense or distance management. Because he chooses to fight in a pocket, he is willing to take punches while continuing to press the action.
From the knockdown in round 2. There's a good jab from Fundora now, followed up with a straight left.
The willingness to trade, testing opponent's grit and durability, introducing risk, as extended exchanges can leave openings for counters.
The side, not going backwards.
Minute gone here in the 4th in round 3 for
right now. Booker bleeding from the nose once again as the...
Oh, double uppercut on the inside. Booker backing up Booker's heart. Keys for Fundora being volume. First time was a bad loss, and it's over. Sebastian.
While Fundora's style is defined by contradiction, having the physical tools of a long-range technician, but the mentality of an inside volume fighter. That contrast, towering height, paired with merciless pressure, makes him one of the most distinctive and entertaining stylistic anomalies, but it also limits his full potential. Like many developing fighters, Fundora is refining his approach to better align his attributes with his high-volume style. He and his team have begun to scale back some of his inside output without dulling his aggression, a shift that's been evident in his last 2 fights.
But that was then, this is now.
The first defining adjustment Fundora has focused on is the use of his range. Standing in at 6 foot 5.5 inches with an 80-inch reach, he now works consistently behind a true telephone jab.
Distance more than normal?
Yes.
I wonder if we're in the midst of an evolution.
Or you want to fight tall, stay disciplined. Volume breaks rhythm.
You're seeing it early from Fundora, jabbing and walking Booker.
In a division where the average reach hovers around 72 inches, that kind of length allows him to touch opponents from distances where they're unable to touch him back.
To take them to that dark place where, forget, not all fighters come back from the type of loss Tim Tszyu suffered last fall in Orlando.
Fundora, perfectly timed, right, Fundora. Well timed, right in the center, down goes Tim Tszyu.
In boxing, an inch can feel like a mile. Give him more than that, and you may as well be fighting from across the border. That jab now is the tip of the spear. Rather than using it to force his way onto the inside, Fundora has become more deliberate, using a jab as a controller. With his reach, the jab doesn't always have to land clean. It dictates pace, breaks rhythm, and keeps the opponent from getting set. It tames the main on the other end, constantly nudging him out of position and denying him the comfort needed to build offense.
Fighter, all of
Cut on Tim Tszyu. I said, why no change in the cut man or trainer?
with his head up high, so he's got to counter that Booker, but he's on his best
There's
moments.
those right hands from Booker, blocked by the.
With the right jab pumping, it doubles as cover fire. By occupying the guard, it obscures vision and creates openings for Fundora to layer his power. This is vital because Fundora is now more careful not to step in more than necessary to land. By being intentional with his reach, he avoids smothering his own punches. He uses the jab to measure distance, then fires the straight right cross down the middle to pierce the guard, while also mixing in a long right hook to come around it.
Oh, you know, he throws punches in bunches, relentless. They would make adjustments in camp.
At some point, you are who you are, and what fun.
Distractions of home since February 22 from Stamford, Connecticut.
As the pressure mounts, opponents are then forced into a choice. Either hold the ground under a steady barrage of fire.
Do you have the coagulant that
Fighting for survival, off the ropes, trying to land a big
or fight off the back foot on uneasy footing, all while the jab continues to chip away at the balance and composure.
Champion. What about the first Connecticut-born PB? Right in front of you.
Overhand.
He doesn't move his head.
overhand right? I said just step to the side, not going backwards.
Minute gone here in the fourth in round 3 from.
Instead of relying on inside volume, the aggression now shows up in a more deliberate approach. He controls range with the long jab, then batters the guard with a committed left hand. A developing boxer doesn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You burn the dead wood and integrate your strengths into the new. Fundora has developed into a more measured outboxer, but doesn't shy away from mixing it up still. It's stitched into his style, into his heart. He wants to batter the guard, push you back, and test your heart. And that's exactly what makes him dangerous. When you try to hold your ground, he forces you to fight for every inch of space. And when things get ugly, he's more than willing to live there. This is the modern hybrid. Outboxer, volume swarmer.
Can't get in, guys. He can't get in.
make him lunge like he does there? That's gonna be a
The jab. Not overcommitting, just 1-2. Back and forth action versus Fundora right here, letting the straight punches. Jab, you miss, I make you pay.